Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we discuss the topic floral biology. Firstly, flowers are structures of sexual reproduction of plants, and flowers have served as an excellent offering to God. Flowers are the main source of inspiration to poets. Coming to the definition of floral biology, is an area of ecological research that studies the evolutionary factors that have molded the structures, behavior, and physiological aspects involved in the flowering of plants. Biological function of a flower is to facilitate reproduction, usually by providing a mechanism for the union of sperm with eggs. The smallest flower in the world is Olphia species. It measures 0.1 mm. Largest flower is Rafflesia. It measures 3 feet and 6.8 kgs or 15 pounds. Coming to the parts of flower of a plant, the whorl of sepals on the outside of a flower is calyx. The whorl of petals is called corolla. The stalk of the flower, through which connected to remaining part of the plant, bracts the leaf-like structures bearing flowers in their axil. Bracteoles, similar foliar structures present in at the summit of the pedicel and subtending the remaining parts of the flower. Receptacle, the swollen part of the floral axis above the level of the bracteoles. Perianth, when the sterile appendage in a flower are not distinguishable into calyx and corolla as in monoclamidae. They are collectively called perianth, and their individual member is a tepal. Stigma is the sticky surface where pollen lands and is collected to fertilize the ovule. The style is a part of the pistil and holds the stigma above the ovary. Ovary houses the ovules and will become the fruit after pollination. The ovule contain egg cells and become the seeds after pollination. The stamen is a male reproductive organ in the plant. It consists of anther and the filament. Filament provides support for the anther in the stamen, and the anther is a part of the stamen and it will produce as the pollen grain. Microsporangium is located in the anther and produces the microspores which became male gametophytes. These male gametophytes will later be used in forming the pollen grain. There are 4 types of organs present in the flower. Those are calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. Coming to the first one, that is calyx. Calyx is the outermost whorl and it comprising 5 green sepals fused at their base. The calyx is the outermost whorl of a complete flower. The calyx individual member is called a sepal. Calyx again divided into 2 types based on their fusion: gamosepalous and polysepalous. Gamosepalous, when all the sepals are fused together. Example: hibiscus, periwinkle, etc. In polysepalous, when all the sepals are free. Example: roses. Important role of sepals are generally green or inconspicuously colored or more or less foliaceous in texture, serving to protect the floral bud. Calyx sometimes becomes persistent and protect the developing fruit. Example: in the gooseberry, calyx become petaloid in clematis or a salvia flower, and also it helps in attracting pollinating agents and stores the nectar. Sometimes it helps in seed dispersal in plumid fruits or a asteraceous family. On a synthetic nutrient medium, the ovaries grown with the sepals intact develop better and produce higher percentage of viable seeds as compared to the ovaries culture without the sepals. It has been suggested that some nitrogenous substances necessary for the normal development of post-pollinated ovary are supplied to the sepals. Coming to the second one, that is corolla. Each unit of corolla is called a petal. In corolla also divided into two types, that is polypetalous and gamopetalous based on their fusion. Polypetalous corolla with free petals, example in rose and camellia. In gamopetalous corolla with fused petals, example in bindweed and elderberry. Important role of corolla is corolla and perianth protect the young reproductive organ, and corolla also helps in pollination through their attractive colors and curious forms. Androecium. Third one is androecium. It is a male reproductive organ. Next to corolla towards inside or 10 stamens arranged in two whorls of 5 stamens each. They are collectively called androecium and represent them as male sex organ of the flower. Each stamens consists of slender stalk, that is filament, bearing at its purple bilobed anthers. The male gametophytes, that is pollen grains, are formed within the anther. Gynoecium. In the center of the flower stands the female reproductive organ, that is called gynoecium. It comprises two units each called carpels. The two carpels are fused at the base, forming a common swollen ovary. At the top of the ovary are present two slender structures called style. The tips and part of the inner margin of the styles are furnished with brown papillae forming the stigma. The latter is the site for the pollen landing at this time of pollination. The ovules are born inside the ovary attached to a central column called placenta. Complete flower and incomplete flower. The flower has all the four floral whorls, that is calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Example for complete flower is carnesia, hibiscus, sweet peas and lilies. Incomplete flower, if any one of these parts is missing the flower, then that flower is called incomplete flower. Example squash plants, cactus, papaya, etc. Perfect flower and imperfect flower. The flowers have both male and female parts. Then those flowers are called perfect flower. Example roses, carnaceous. Imperfect flower. A flower having either male or female reproductive parts called as unisexual flower or imperfect flower. Example corn, cucurbits, pumpkin, papaya, watermelon, etc. An incomplete flower can either be perfect, having male as well as female sex organs, or imperfect with either of the two sexes missing. The flowers with only male sex organs are described as staminate flowers. The flowers with only female sex organs are called pistillate flowers. Thank you.